The Supreme Court will be delivering its verdict on the constitutional validity of the abrogation of Article 370, which had accorded special status to Jammu and Kashmir. The judgment will address whether the presidential order of August 5th, 2019 was legally and constitutionally valid. A 5-judge constitution bench comprising of Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Justice Sanjeev Khanna, Justice B.R. Gavai and Justice Suryakant will deliver the verdict. This bench is tasked with deciding on a series of petitions that have challenged the centre's decision to revoke Article 370. Following comprehensive hearings that spanned over 16 days, the Supreme Court reserved its verdict on September 5th, 2023. The court has taken more than 3 months to deliberate and is now ready to announce its decision. Meanwhile, joining us on the broadcast is my colleague Ajay Jandyal. Ajay, if you could walk our viewers through the details. Over to you.
Well, yes, the most awaited, decision is going to be announced today by the court, by the higher court, Supreme Court today, and yes, especially the political parties, those who were having hopes that something can happen here in the Jammu and Kashmir after abrogation of 370 was done by the union government in the parliament. That's why number of political parties and people, they went to the Supreme Court and they challenged that abrogation of 370. But now after the 3 months long hearing, now decision is expected. Decision is coming today, and that's why we have seen that for last several days there is there is gossip going on here in among the political parties, especially the opposition parties. Those who are continuously, giving statements. Especially, we have seen that Mehbooba Mufti seen saying that that we are expecting that the court will, return the special status to the Jammu and Kashmir, and they will prove that whatever has happened, that is not. That is something which should not happen. And the National Conference, Umar Abdullah, he says that restriction, are imposed here. We are getting to know that our people, our leaders are going to stop. We are expecting that government is going to restrict our movement in the Kashmir Valley. So he is also expecting that decision is going to come today, and that is something which will not in the favor of Jammu and Kashmir. I don't know why such statements are coming from the political leaders, because it is the court who has to give a judgment, and they only know that what is going to happen today, what could be the judgment today. So political parties, because they know, the opposition parties know that they have to go to the people for vote, to getting vote in the coming election, whatever, and whichever election will happen here in Jammu and Kashmir in the coming days, because the opposition know that their one agenda of special status of Jammu and Kashmir, application of 370, is the only agenda which could help them to get votes from the public, whereas ruling governments, BJP, they are very clearly saying that whatever has happened, that was done under the under the constitution, and that's why Parliament have abrogated 370, because it was already in the constitution that this will go slowly. So that's why after a number of years, number of decades, that abrogation was done by the union government. So political activities, we have seen that increase in the last few days, especially the statements of Ghulam Nabi Azad. We have seen that saying that we are expecting that decision will be in the favor of people of Jammu and Kashmir. So these statements are coming, but what is going to happen, that is only something which is going to be pronounced by the honorable court today, and we only they know that what would be the decision of 5 judges of the Supreme Court today.
Right, absolutely, Ajay. Stay on with us. We also have joining us at this point of time, Advocate Vineet Jindal. He's a Supreme Court lawyer. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining us on NewsX. Now, what could be the outcome in today's verdict, according to you?
Look, we all are very eagerly waiting for the judgment passed by the Supreme Court, as there are so many questions, and the constitution and the constitution question which could be specified by the Supreme Court itself. So I think it would be a very tough task for them, and there are certain questions which is put by Supreme Court itself during the hearings, like whether the Article 370 is a permanent or it would be a temporary. So this kind of question would be, we are waiting for the answer of this kind of questions, which is put by Supreme Court itself. So we are looking for a very good judgment, whatever it would be. And I hope that all the political parties, because this is a very, eagerly, all political parties also very eagerly waiting for this judgment. So I think all the political parties would welcome the wholehearted and accepting this judgment. So let's see what would be the outcome of the judgment.
Right, so absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast and sharing your perspectives with our viewers. Ajay, I'm going to quickly rope you into the telecast. You're our Jammu Bureau Chief. You've been extensively covering and giving us news on a daily basis, telling us the situation on ground. So I'm going to propose this question to you. Now, since 2019, what are the kind of differences that you personally have witnessed in Jammu and Kashmir?
Well, see, there are several, decisions which was taken by the union government after the abolition of 370, which one has to say that this is something which really shows that these are the major changes which has taken place in the Jammu and Kashmir for last several, years. If we talk about the first decision, which was, citizen rights to the people of Gorkha Samaj, West Pakistani refugee, and Valmiki Samaj, those who were living here in Jammu and Kashmir for last more than 7 decades, but they were not given, their rights because they were the refugees here. They were not having the jobs right. They were not having the land right. They were not able to. Their kids were not able to get, professional studies, permission from in the government colleges. They don't have that right. So that was a major decision which on ground, one can see. Other thing, what has happened here in the Jammu and Kashmir, state investigation agency was found by the government in Jammu and Kashmir and Jammu and Kashmir administration, that was on the basis of National Investigation Agency, which is basically investigating the cases, terror-related cases in the Jammu and Kashmir, and especially if you talk about the Jammu and Kashmir terrorism, which is on here for last several decades. That is the major challenge for the security forces and the civilians, because enough bloodshed was done by the terrorists here in the Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen that how people, civilian security forces, people, they were dying, and once again, what was happening, that again and again this terrorism was reviving. So that's why these investigation agencies are playing very important role, and that state investigation agency was formed by the Jammu and Kashmir administration here, on the like national investigation agencies doing on the national level. Other than that, what we have seen that if you talk about the terrorism in last few years, 3 years, what we have seen that terrorism have declined like anything, like 70% terror incidents have reduced here in the Jammu and Kashmir, which was often a regular thing which was happening here. We have seen that number of civilians and the security forces people have died because of the terror attack, and that is drastically declined here in the Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen that how civilian killing, which was taking place in the Jammu and Kashmir, that reduced to the zero only after the abrogation of 370. But we have seen that band calls, shutdowns, stone pelting, that has reduced. And other than that, if you talk about the development...
Absolutely, Ajay. Stay on with us. We're also being joined by Mr. Amit Raina. He's a Kashmiri Pandit. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining us on NewsX. Now, I'm gonna ask you, sir, have you seen any difference in the quality of life after the abrogation of Article 370?
Yes, it is visible. Hindi mein wo kahavat hai, haath kangan ko arsi kya. You can see that after 2019, many things have changed in Jammu and Kashmir, especially in the Kashmir Valley. A state which used to be perpetually closed to bunds, hartal cause, and schools being closed, education taking a hit. You have seen zero loss of education days post 2019. We have seen zero band calls. We have seen zero bands happening. We have seen zero hartals in Kashmir. The calendar which Hurriyat and other separatist organizations used to issue about hartals, one stone pelting have stopped. The stone pelting incidents have come down to almost zero. So these are visible differences when it comes to law and order situation in the valley. Apart from that, we have seen huge investment inflow that has happened in Kashmir. We have seen tourism records being broken. We have more than 1.5 crore people have visited state in both the years, last year and this year. So there's a significant difference on the ground. Apart from that, you can look at the happiness quotient of the people. You can see people today understand the difference between pre-2019 and post-2019. Their quality of life has improved. Srinagar, Kashmir now is open till late midnight. Earlier, people used out of fear go back to their homes after 6:37. The roads were deserted. Today, there's an economic boom happening even after 7 p.m. Restaurants are open, shops are open, people are making money. So there is obviously a visible difference which has happened.
Right, sir, absolutely. Of course, now you've told us education, zero bans, zero hartals, stone pelting is almost, I mean, you just said that it's zero. Tourism records have been broken. But apart from that, what are the opportunities that have arisen due to the abrogation of Article 370?
See, there are multiple opportunities that have risen. One is that if you look at the Jammu region, there has been a heavy inflow of funds, especially in the manufacturing sector. We have seen many industries, corporates moving or setting up fresh plants of manufacturing in the Jammu region, especially in the industrial parks that have been created. In Kashmir Valley, we have seen investments coming even from Middle East. UAE, Saudi, where Emaar has gone and invested huge amount of money to create digital parks, IT parks in Kashmir Valley. We also need to understand that a state which has largely been dependent on tourism, inflow of 1.5 crore tourists not only improves economic life of people who are directly associated with tourism, it also provides employment opportunity for sectors which are indirectly involved with tourism. So you have artisan who has seen a better improvement in his earning. You see horticulture improving. You see people who are porters, their revenue increasing. It has a effect on every sector of economy in Jammu and Kashmir. So you can see an overall economic growth happening across the state.
Right, so absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast and sharing all those perspectives with our viewers. But joining us right now is Mr. Rajan Khanna. He is an author. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining us on NewsX. Now, quickly taking your perspective, what do you think? What is going to be the outcome in today's verdict, according to you? Sir, if I could request you to just unmute yourself.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, sir. Absolutely. Very clear.
Okay. Yeah. You see, I am very positive about today's verdict. Why? Because there is a clause 3 of Article 370 which empowers the president to abrogate. Rather, the right word is to repealing of the Article 370. Okay. Now, the other thing is, as far as the entire locus standi of the petitioners, as far as Article 370 is concerned, that was completely on a flimsy ground. Because legally also, when it was introduced, and Article 335A also that was introduced alongside with 370A. So I would like to put some light on, incorporation of Article 35A. It was, without Parliament's corroboration, it was introduced. It was done surreptitiously, and both the articles on 5th of August 2019, when they were repealed, it has, as far as the entire apparatus of democratic India is concerned, it was a watershed initiative. Why? Because it was a blemish on democracy of India, Article 370. One state which is considered to be part and parcel, integral part of Bharat, it was deliberately kept away from the mainstream development, discriminatory things like, the people who had come from across the border, they were discriminated against. Refugees, Valmikis were discriminated against. Women, like, Farooq Abdullah's own daughter, who married outside the state with Mr. Sachin Pilot, she lost her ancestry rights because that was the draconian provisions of Article 370. So now it is the complete merger, it's complete amalgamation, political, social, cultural of the state of Jammu and Kashmir with the Union of India. Second thing was it always brewed separatist tendencies. Like always, in 1989, 1991, the separatist dimension of terrorism was added. Before that also there used to be 3-4 different dimensions. What used to be, pro-Pakistani stream, then one used to be pro-independent stream like JKLF, then there used to be, the hardline parties who used to fight elections swearing on Constitution of India, but they used to talk about the rights of Pakistan, like Mahbooba Mufti's party. Then used to be other people who also I have got the audacity to tell they were also soft separatists like these Abdullah's parties. So after 5th of August 2019, there is a lot of change in the state, erstwhile state, which was comprising Ladakh, Kashmir and Jammu. Two divisions, Ladakh and Jammu, they were very happy. For past 4-5 years, I've been regularly going there. They are very happy. They said, now the floodgates of development have opened for themselves. As far as Valley was concerned, it took some time to absorb the change. Recently, couple of months ago, I was there. I could see I could read people's faces. They were happy. They knew 1.5 crores of tourists had visited the place, and at the same time, they knew UAE is going to invest 2,000 crore rupees, which is going to have cascading effect throughout the social spectrum. Like people are going to get jobs also, their children are going to get better health facilities, sporting facilities, everything. People understand it now. That another thing which is very important, let me tell you. Earlier, people used to give, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they used to give examples of Pakistan. You see, this is happening in Pakistan, what is happening in India? And they used to consider Pakistan as a kind of invincible military power also. Now that thoughts, they have completely gone. Why? Because people know now 1 Indian rupee is equivalent of 3.5 of Pakistani rupees. Pakistanis, their economy is collapsing.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.